All right, we're back with another episode of Shoot the J. As always, the same direction. I got Tyrone Jackson, Maestro T to the left. I got Don Jackson, 007, so many different nicknames and names and aliases for him, you know.
Oh, El Prince.
El Prince, that's right, I forgot about that too.
Whatever you want to call me, as long as it's good.
And as we always start off, what are you drinking?
Ooh. You almost went straight ghetto on us, Dave. You was doing too much ghetto D. What is you drinking? Good old H2O right now there, brother.
H2O, huh, bud? All right.
Yeah.
Little cup of Joe and some H2O, brother. In the got it.
Well,
Don't
I'll continue my trend with a morning screwdriver to get the day started off. Just correct.
Don't end up screwed.
You beat me to it. Make sure you go to the dry part and not the first part.
So you telling me I'm screwed?
So what's the first
joke, ladies and gentlemen? That's the inside joke.
What's hey, look at 007 got his chain on, bro. I want your chain.
Oh, yeah. That's a throwback, ladies and gentlemen, to all the people who used to attend church with us. That's a throwback from the festival at Biloxi. You know, but we'll leave it right there, you know. I'll tell that story offline. Somebody inbox me if y'all want to hear that story. Inbox
Please.
me, I'll tell you the story, you know what I mean?
I would love to be there. What's the first order of business there, Red?
Well, let's start off talking about the Big Three has been unveiled in Brooklyn in their debut this week. And just to get y'all take on what's going on with Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie together, is this growing pains? Are they really a contender or are they just a pretender?
Well, I'll start. If you you talk about the Big Three, we got to talk about the Big Two first.
Okay.
So Irving and Durant was there together. They look great, and then they look bad. They lost some. Clearly, Kevin Durant has emerged as the leader of the team, and not only scoring, but dictating the tempo of the game, dictating the strength of the team, and usurping that strength. So when they acquired Harden and Irving was out. Now remember, when Irving was out and they didn't have Harden, Kevin Durant was winning some games with them without the other people, and with the role players they had like Allen and Taurean Prince and all these other people that they ended up trading away.
Yes.
Now you enter James Harden, and they win. James Harden and KD are playing like they played with OKC. They're playing off each other. They're involving other people, and they win. Now you rest Kevin Durant, and all of a sudden they lose. Well, they did debut together. You introduce Kyrie Irving back in the mix, and now the Big Two becomes a Big Three that scores a lot of points, but nobody else is involved. If you look at the box score from the first game against Cleveland, I think Kyrie had like 38 points. Kevin Durant had 31 points. And Harden had a triple-double or something like that with 21 points. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the non-starters, it was 0-0, did not play, 3 points. And your bench is already limited because you traded everybody away. And you lose to Cleveland Cavaliers, and then you come back the next day without KD, and you lose again. And Colin Sexton had, 40-something points? 42 points. So that shows you right there, you're going to start screaming next about how y'all don't have a bench. It's going to be like, hey, put us together, we'll win. Then you're going to say, oh, we don't have a bench. Well, we traded your bench for James Harden. So that's my take on the Big Three.
Don?
I'm just looking at some percentages here, and, just to back up what Tyrone is saying, it seemed like so far the best two of the Big Three was Harden and KD playing together. As we can see, when KD is out, there's no change. Yeah. You really look at Kevin Durant's averages right now. He's 31.3 points per game when he's in there. Harden is about 26.5, but you're looking at only 4 games played. Kevin Durant had 12 games played. Kyrie Irving through 9 games, averages 29.4. So you no longer have Allen. You're looking for the bench to step up for you. Dinwiddie is hurt. They have to figure some stuff out. There's some things to figure out because, as you can see, just like in Miami, when LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh got together, they had to figure some things out. How to maximize role players, how to maximize the touches with 3 players that could dominate the ball at any given time and create matchup nightmares. So they're gonna have to figure some stuff out before they can be dominant. And I'm not taking nothing away from any of the individual efforts, but they have some things to figure out.
Don, to your point, I was going to say the same thing. Miami struggled when they first got together. They dropped their first 4, and Dwayne Wade had that infamous press conference where he said, well, we're where we want to be. Everybody's happy because the Miami Heat are losing. And the same thing with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, where they both were kind of slashers and had to have the ball in their hands. None of them were at that time were great spot-up shooters, right? And so there's a thing called, you learn this in the supply chain, called duplication of services, right? Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, they kind of all do the same thing, just at varying sizes, right? They could beat you off the dribble, shoot the ball at a high clip, good free throw shooters, good three-point shooters, but they all kind of do the same exact thing, okay? And I had this chat with Tyrone. We were talking about David Fizdale, the coach, and he was saying, it took us a while in Miami to get together, but what we realized that we could do is we could get after it defensively, okay? And while we figured the offense out, we knew we could win if we could just get after guys defensively. To me, it's going to hinge on whether Brooklyn can get after defensively. When you start 3 guys like that, can Harden, Irvin, and Durant defend consistently? What was the final score with Cleveland? 140-something to 137? And Cleveland is the worst offense in the league, and they put up 140-something without Kevin Love on the team who's playing hurt. So,
and the next night, 125 to 113 was the score.
Right, and I watched that game where they lost again. I was thinking, well, maybe they'll make an adjustment, but Kevin Durant didn't play this time, and you lost again. So, can you defend? Is what this to me is going to turn this out to be. Yeah, I think they're going to have growing pains. I mean, ordinarily, I'm never afraid of 2 guys because my motto is, can the 2 guys give you 100? Because you need 100 points to win at least 100 to win an NBA game. These 3 guys really could give you 100. These 3 guys can put up 100 points on a pretty, average night. But can they get after it defensively? So, and do you have anybody capable in that locker room on that coaching staff to teach you defense with Steve Nash and Sean Marks, the GM, or anybody on the any of the assistant coaches? Do you have anybody who could teach it and also who have the credibility to go to those 3 stars, those 3 divas, which are Kevin Durant, Harden, and Kyrie Irving? All of them want the diva treatment. So if you have a defensive guy, does he have the credibility to even broach the subject of defense and teach it to you that they'll be able to receive it?
And do you have the mileage to overpower? If you're going to play minimal defense, then your offensive prowess got to be to the point where you're going to overpower a person. But all of them going to have to play restricted minutes, probably except for James Harden. They're trying to get him into playing shape. So they're playing him as much as possible. He's not going to take a game off. And probably he doesn't want to take a game off because – and I watched him play, and Harden's points are coming and his assists are coming off of him doing bounce the ball between his legs, look off and throw stuff like that. He's really just playing basketball. He's not even fitting in with the system.
He's not running the set. You're right.
It's really pretty remarkable that James Harden is doing what he's doing. He doesn't even know the other players on the team. He's never played with Kyrie before.
Let me show you.
He's played with KD before, but he's just jazzing it up out there.
You say he's got to get in playing shape. Let me show you the shape he's in right now. Hold up. That's the shape he's in right now. This is James Harden.
That's a deflated ball.
Yeah, no shape whatsoever. That's what he looks like with his jersey off. Right.
He said he can beat you. That's what he said.
Oh, he sure can. He's getting paid millions to do it, Jack. He can't write a press release like me, baby. I tell you that.
I'm
Let's have a
telling
wrap off,
you,
Jaden. Let's see what you
they have gifts. I mean, you can't take away from their gifts. Each one of those players have unique gifts, and the trick is finding out how to get those gifts to work together. And like David said, defensively, what are you going to be as a defensive unit? As you're looking at the Sixers surging right now, Celtics are going to be there. You know, what is Brooklyn's identity going to be, and how they're going to figure this out? They don't have a lot of time.
right.
Don, it's like you said, though, and like Dave, like you said, nobody's talking about the coaching, because as we parallel that to the 76ers, nobody's talking about how Doc Rivers came to a situation where they said that can't be done, Embiid and Ben Simmons together. And yet the whole team is playing with so much synergy. They just beat Boston last night, and your boy had 42 points or 40-something points.
Yeah,
And he
Jordan.
beat him. Right. No, what's his name on Boston had 40-something points.
Oh, Tatum.
No, Tatum was out.
Jaylen Brown?
Yes.
Who is that?
He had 40.
Jaylen Brown.
Oh yeah, Jalen. Yeah.
He had 40-something points. And they're playing, the coaching is getting cohesion out of the 76ers. And Dwight Howard's playing some great minutes for him. I saw him play. But to your point, Dave, the coaching for the Brooklyn Nets, here's what Steve Nash said. We just got to figure it out as we go along. Figure it out as we go along? Well, the Lakers are figuring out their lineups and still winning.
Right, right.
Here's the thing. You got to find a way to win. And then that's when you figure out the matchups. But and then you have D'Antoni, who's broken up every team that he's ever coached and messed up every. My Phoenix Suns are finally starting to come back. Don's Knicks, I don't know if they ever recover from the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Better than a playoff spot, final playoff spot right now.
Right. But look how long it takes for this dude. He left Houston. Houston is in shambles. Yeah. So D'Antoni was his Nash's mentor.
Nash, this is his first year coaching. You have a lot of growing pains. You know, you have to go through it. Your first year, anything when you leading, it's a lot of stuff to take under consideration.
Right.
Guys, I want to admit our guests because they've been patiently waiting in the locker room. I'm going to get them in a little bit earlier. We were originally going to talk about Saints, but this next topic, this person is adept with that as well. So let me add this person now. Our guest.
It's always a surprise. Oh, wow.
Bill Crosby.
Is this a repeat performance from last time?
Oh, I hope not.
As long as we can get past the technical difficult. Uh-oh.
I got to unmute. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Carl Lewis. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I'm going to get it right, fellas.
I'm going to make up for it.
I'll make
I'm going to make up for it. Don't worry, I'll make it.
Oh, Rockets, red glare.
brothers.
Uh-oh.
So it sound like Rochester.
Hey, put your video on there, Carl.
I just asked him to start it.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
He got Saints everywhere.
What's going on, fellas? T,
What's happening? Saints
Doc?
everywhere.
what's happening, 007?
What's happening?
We got Carl Crosby back in, straight out the quarters, back in early this morning. What are you drinking, my brother, before we start you off?
Bro, this is a Sutter Home. They ain't had no white Zinfandel. So I got a Moscato with a little bit of Minute Maid mango.
A little sweet drink, eh?
Well, y'all three are acting like y'all had Bloody Marys already and martinis this morning.
You,
Well,
look
y'all
like you,
giggling.
you look like you literally Sex in the City right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna out you, bro. I ain't gonna out you.
That's all right, bro. I'm from 69, man. You know what I'm saying? It's regular time right now.
Pseudo from 69.
He drinking them Tyrone. He drinking them Real Housewives drinks, bro. You know, I just had to have a lunch with so and so, you know, just to get her.
Man, what type of fancy What type of fancy glass that is from the island?
Bro, the same thing you got. We act like
Fantasy Island
less
goblet.
fancy than mine.
Davis look like that's a plastic
look a little-
special, though. They don't look glass. we, can't hear,
Okay.
we can't hear that clicking.
Y'all can hear it?
I heard it.
There you
Okay,
go.
that's like a goblet,
All right.
ain't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. You know what I mean?
Bruh, so what you feel
But-
about these Saints, bruh?
No, don't go. No, let's not
Oh,
go.
they can't go there?
Let's not go
I'm
to
sorry,
Saints.
go ahead.
yet. Let's say that to the end. Everybody, we're going to get to the Saints, but I want to bring Carl in right now before we go to our next topic briefly, okay?
Okay.
Which is Deontay Wilder is in talks to fight Charles Martin, the former champion. Well, Don's expression right now. The former champion, Charles Martin, while he's in a lull in between the Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua fights. Is this a good idea?
All right.
Fight a name? Is this guy a good tune-up fight? Or what are your thoughts basically on Wilder fighting Charles Martin?
First, who in the hell is Charles Martin?
He had the belt.
What belt he had? The Cracker Jack belt?
He had the one. He had the one that they gave him before Anthony Joshua took it from him. At one time, only
All
he
right.
held it for
Charles
one time, bro.
Give you a
What
background
his
on
nickname? What a name?
to get
What his nickname is?
He don't even have a nickname.
He doesn't have a name like Charles Martin.
no. Let me give you a background on him. After
Please.
after Anthony Joshua beat Klitschko, okay, let's just
All right.
back on how Joshua got his belts. He got a belt
All
by
right.
default because Tyson Fury had already beat Klitschko. Okay, when he
Right.
failed the drug tests, okay, his belts got stripped. Tyson Fury's belts got stripped. He got vacated. Okay, and,
All right.
and Joshua and Klitschko fought a tournament to see who would win the belt again. Okay, when Joshua
All right.
when Joshua beat Klitschko, that's how he got his first belt, a belt that was vacated because Tyson Fury had already beaten Klitschko. Then Charles Martin had the other
All right.
belt. And Eddie Hearn paid basically $20 million for Charles Martin to fight Anthony Joshua, which basically is he bought the belt of Charles Martin. Martin won his belt because
Right.
the guy he fought had an injury mid-fight, and the belt fell to him by default. Okay, so that's how he.
Okay.
And Eddie Hearn paid $20 million to have him fight Anthony Joshua. Joshua knocked him out, I think, in the second round or something like that. And he got the second belt from Charles Martin. So
All right.
he's basically he is the definition of a paper champion is with Charles Martin.
All right. All right. Gotcha. All right. He's a paper champion.
He's about 6'5".
How many fights have he lost? I have no. All right. I have no idea to do this. So
What
I look
just
up-
tell us
I
what you
mean,
just tell us what you think about him fighting him though.
common sense. He gonna get it. He gonna get it. He go. Charles Martin. Wilder fighting him. You gotta get a W first, bro. First, Wilder need a. You know, it's good to have your confidence restored. And I'm not saying he's lacking in confidence, but you know that was a real humbling experience he went through. You know, Deontay. So it's good for him to have tune-ups are always good. You know, he haven't fought in a while with everything going on. So, you know, if you have to punch something, it's always better to punch paper than it is steel. You know, so punch that paper champion down.
That's a good point. Don, go ahead, Don.
Charles Martin, bro. Jesus Christ.
I mean, the dude's not listening to the top 10. We know he's taking this as he's taking the payday to not have his rematch with Tyson Fury. He's going to fight Charles Martin. I mean, any opponent you put in front of you, you can't underestimate him. And like Lil Carl said, it's better to punch somebody like this and try to get yourself tuned back up to get ready. Because he's got to fight. I think they have a clause where he has to fight the winner of Joshua Fury. So that the good thing about that is neither one of these British guys can run from him anymore. So this will be his chance to get himself together. No excuses, no heavy costumes with coming on over his head and smoke coming out his ears and all that stuff. Come in with a terry towel on dudes, man. I'm tired. Deontay Wilder, you got a time. Put some paint on these dudes. We want to see an American champ again. These British dudes across the water can't really represent the heavyweight round. Get him out of here, man.
Say, bro, Don, I disagree. He could beat Charles Martin with the costume on, bro.
Let me say this.
Go ahead, Don.
I would say I'm all for it. I would say keep putting up them paper tomato cans and stuff like that, bro. Because I'm not fighting nobody that might have a risk where I'm never going to get a chance to fight again. The thing, and I don't want anything else on tape. I want my boxing matches to last 2.5 seconds. I don't want you to see any film on me. I don't want to see anything. I'm going to be working to beat Joshua or Tyson Fury. So I'm not going to fight. Look what they did with Luis Ortiz. Nobody's fighting Luis Ortiz, and he's only lost to one person, just twice. They're not giving him a chance to fight. So what you think they're going to do with Deontay Wilder? I'm not going to put myself at risk and fight these other people unless it's going to be Pacquiao where I can make some money. That fight ain't going to happen. If I'm going to fight Canelo, I'll fight Canelo. I'll make some money on that. But otherwise, give me Charles Martin. I'll fight, what's the other dude I knocked out? We had beef before. I'll fight him again.
Right. Dominic Brazil?
Yeah, give me Dominic Brazil. Put Rocky in the ring. You can put Cassius,
Everybody that won't compromise your heavyweight challenge. I get you.
Yeah. Put one of them, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, put both of them in the ring. I'll fight them.
Nate
Until
Robinson.
y'all give me my real fight. I want my real fight. I don't want to be messing around with these other dudes. I don't want a contender. I don't want a contender. I don't want the risk.
It's the Ronda Rousey. This is the Ronda Rousey effect. You know, after Ronda Rousey got beat by Holly Holm, you know, everybody said, all right, it happened. She gonna come back and she was trigger shy. She was gun shy. She got punched down again.
She was never a striker to begin with,
with,
Carl. She was never a striker to begin with. What's his name made her that because he said it was gonna be a fight. She's got her background in judo, but she started believing the hype too, and started trying to become a striker, and she couldn't strike. Holly Holm got her and everybody else.
But to Carl's point, I see where you're going with this. You got to put up somebody that's going to restore his confidence so he can be ready for the big fight. So to Carl's point, because you're going to be like Rousey making appearances on Hot Threes Company and all them old shows. You're going to be
Hollywood Squares.
To be on Let's Do It Again. To be on Hollywood Squares and WWE.
My confidence is gonna be at 1,000% because I ain't fighting until they give me the fight. That's 4 years from now. I'm fighting 2.5 seconds.
Wait. Let me say this.
I understand this point.
My question is, are you gonna correct the issues that got you beat against Fury? Because Martin not gonna be resistant to see if you learn to fight going backwards off the back foot. Okay, against a taller man off foot. Okay, so normally they put you in with a guy who's similar to the guy you lost to, but who really doesn't pose a threat to beat you and have the power. Now, I believe Tyson Fury cheated that fight. Okay, no doubt about it. I've been watching boxing all my life. Okay, I've never seen a guy walk in one fight with no power, and the next fight he got power all of a sudden and can knock a guy out with a 6-month training camp. Okay, and you got cuts. You getting hit places, and you cuts are opening places that never open on boxers. Like normally you get cuts right here where your forehead was real tight with your skin right here. The guy getting cuts inside his cheeks and cuts on his ear in places. Okay, remember when Tyson Fury fought Otto Wallin and he had that nasty cut open up on his head early on. He couldn't knock Otto Wallin out in 10 straight rounds after that. He had to knock him out to close the fight because it could have stopped the fight at any time. So now all of a sudden, you get KO'd by Wilder, you take a 1-year training camp, and all of a sudden you got power all of a sudden, and you've never shown power your whole career. Nobody can tell me that the guy didn't cheat. But in any case, yeah, you're going to knock Charles Martin out. You got the physical gifts over him. It's good to restore your confidence. But or have you corrected the thing that's going to make Tyson Fury a problem for you again?
Well, we talked about this. Me and Ty was talking about this.
Steven, I'll change the stripes.
Mayweather's camp offered to assist Deontay Wilder. and from what we're gathering from information, that he refused it because he said Mayweather was never in his corner when he was a boxer. So I don't know if that's smart.
It's not.
I really believe you need a defensive genius to be in the corner with you to help you, because you need everything. If you really want the belt, you need all tools at your disposal. Just like LeBron pays $1 million to keep his body, $1 million annually to keep his body in tip-top shape, so he doesn't have the injuries that plague older NBA veterans. Wilder needs every tool at his disposal to dispatch one of these UK champions.
Wait, and let's just get this out of the way too. Let's not just say the $1 million for his body. He went to Hakeem's camp as well. Okay, he got with experts to work on his footwork and work on a post also. So he took advice from other stars.
Yes.
So it wasn't just trainers to make you as strong or as durable as you possibly can. He took advice from those people as well. You know. All right. Well, we have the biggest topic of the day. After the Saints lost to Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs at home, now we look again, as we've said so many years, we'll wait till next year. What is the plan for the Saints next year? How do you rebuild? What pieces do you have in place? How do you build on that? And what's the direction that you go in next year? Carl, we're going to give the floor to you to start off with, since you're the guest.
All right, man. Look, we rarely do a coach quarterback combination have two separate Super Bowl windows. And Drew and Sean had their separate Super Bowl window, two separate ones. This window is still open, but the move I feel we need to make, because we don't need to rebuild and we don't need to retool, man. Because like you said, Dave, chances are, bro, push come to shove, we win that game with Taysom Hill.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We do, because it gives the defense, right, not 100% Drew Brees, or just Taysom Hill offer different challenges. And just by not turning the ball over, with a chance of fucking that game. But for the future, we don't need to rebuild. We need to trade for Deshaun Watson. We need a quarterback now. You know what I'm saying? Is Jameis Winston the answer now? Bro, let me tell you something, bro. A dude that threw 30 interceptions the last time he was on the field full time, he Jameis, bro. You know one thing, he gonna make 2 to 4 horrible decisions a game. From the last time I saw him, is he different now? We don't know. I probably make 2 to 4 horrible decisions a day sometimes, you know. But I'm not playing NFL quarterback. If not horrible, at least questionable decisions. I try to cut it down to 1 a day, but I digress. Drinking before 12 is a bad decision. That's all y'all too. All right, but well, look, Deshaun Watson is out there. Deshaun Watson is out there, man.
What do you have for Deshaun Watson? Who are you going to trade?
Season,
still, who are you going to trade for him?
What do I have? I got. All right. I trade. Look, let's give up something they want. I know it sound. Look, we got Henderson had a great year. All right. Henderson on the block. That's one. All right. We got more corners than you could count. You know, more corners than safeties. So I put Latimer on the block. Top line cornerback, and I put Marcus Williams too, because you cannot give away. These are two things you can't give away. You can't give away Kamara. You can't give away Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Bill O'Brien got rid of Nook. You know what I'm saying? Hopkins ran his dumb behind out of town. You can't. A quarterback of that caliber needs his weapons. So we know Thomas and Kamara will be the first thing that was wanted, but you need to keep them both. So if you got a mortgage, we got young offensive lineman. All right. We got Jameis. I trade Taysom Hill. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever I can get, whatever I can trade minus Thomas and Kamara and Cam Jordan and Demario Davis. Anybody else could be suspect.
Let me tell you what your competition is, because I'm living in Atlanta, and Atlanta is possibly thinking about trading Matt Ryan for Deshaun Watson. So if that happens, you're gonna have to put up Kamara or somebody like that, because see, Matt Ryan still got stats and notoriety in the league. And going to Houston, that would be something good for him to start over. And Deshaun Watson coming back to Atlanta, where he was born and raised, which they spotted Deshaun Watson in New York with an Atlanta Falcons jacket on. So if you want to have him come to New Orleans, you better offer a pot of gumbo, Kamara, some po' boys, and everything else for him.
Got it?
This is what I'm gonna say. We always
And a lifetime pass to Rich Cabaret.
Yes. You know the deal.
What you all are saying is great, good. I believe the Jets are going to try to make a go at Deshaun Watson. That's the rumor mill on that, knowing that they've just received a head coach from San Fran, not the head coach from San Fran, but one of their assistants is now their head coach. So I believe, like you all were talking about, you had several windows for us to make it to the Super Bowl. With 4 years where we in the playoffs and we lost some grueling games. One of them, 2 years ago at LA because of the no call. You know about that. That should have been the Breeze Brady Bowl for that Super Bowl. And that would have gave Breeze his chance to walk out positively into the line.
Correct.
Whether he won or lost. And then we wouldn't have been in this position where, like, Minnesota was holding on to Brett Favre until he said, I can't do it anymore. Or they traded him to Green Bay,
Jets.
Brett Favre. And then they traded him to the Jets, correct. So we had to get Breeze out of our system here in New Orleans. I hate to say it like that, but as long as he could play and do it efficiently enough to outshine the two quarterbacks he had on the roster, everybody's still saying, well, Breeze is going to bring us there. We said it ourselves. I said it ourselves. You had to start Breeze in that playoff, in that game against the Chiefs to get him ready for the playoffs, because we knew at that time Jameis Winston is fresh into our system, probably doesn't understand all of the time routes and the plays, and like for Carl's point, would probably take some chances at that quarterback position that Sean Payton wasn't ready for him to take. But to me,
he's Jameis Winston.
In my opinion, Jameis Winston is your quarterback going forward. If you start circling the wagons with him and you run the two quarterback set with Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston under center, and then you bring Taysom Hill if you want to try to confuse the defenses and keep them honest, this window will open up for you again, because the boy has an arm. Even though he had most interceptions when he was playing with Tampa Bay, he also had the highest touchdown rate. So the greatness is in him. He can throw the rock. We at the Saints had to get Breeze of our system.
Yes.
And let him pass through that phase. Now you have Sean Payton focusing only on Winston, only on Hill. You got a chance now with this young talent. Don't trade none of your defense. Don't touch none of your offensive pieces. Now you got a healthy team. You got to come take this NFC South by storm. We don't know if Brady is going to come back. But chances are, if he wins or if he loses by a slim margin in this divisional round, he's coming back. If to Tyrone's point, if Deshaun Watson comes to Atlanta, that's going to be a whole different ball game in the NFC South, because now you're going to retool Falcons team that was only one piece away from getting up there with some wins, because their defense was pretty stout too. So Atlanta needed a quarterback. We know this because Matty Ice, what they call him, didn't have ice in his veins toward the end of those games. They could
cap water
up in you with some good numbers starting off.
Atlanta needed a whole rebuild,
at the
bro.
end. So with Matt Ryan out the door, I'm saying focus on the young talent you have, Saints. Develop Jameis Winston. Let's go to the Super Bowl.
Let me add this, Carl, before no, go ahead, Carl. Go ahead.
Long story short, real quick, bro, real fast. Look, bro, Matt Ryan, that's my issue, bro. Let me tell you something. When you lose Super Bowl the way Atlanta lost it, immediately, if you don't go on a quick run in the first 4 games next year, you blow it up. because it's always in the back of your mind. It's always in the back of your mind. So they took 2 years too long. They should have blew it when they went 3-3 the next year, and when it's time to blow it up. Coach, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Because your team will never recover from that type of thing. And since then, it's been dirty birds. Thank you, Rob. Didn't mean to cut you off, D. Thank you.
Oh, it's all good.
I had to see that. They should have been broken up.
I'm gonna take both sides of this argument. Okay. In one regard, I'm with Don because you won with the quarterbacks that you had on the roster for 2 years in a row. So it proves that it wasn't Drew Brees that is the straw that's stirring the drink. You won 5 games with Taysom Hill as a starter, who's not a proven starter. So your defense played lights out, and Michael Thomas loved Taysom Hill because he knew he would get targeted exclusively as opposed to Brees, or Brees going to spread it around, right? So you won 5 out of 6 games with Taysom Hill as your starter. Last year you won, 6 out of 7 games, 6 total games that the man started with Bridgewater, okay, without Brees. So you're really, technically, you're winning the majority of most of your games without Brees to start off with. So I wouldn't have a problem going young talent.
That's fair.
Playing Jameis. We could talk about Jameis throwing interceptions, but the playoff game, he was 1 for 1 with 59 yards and 1 touchdown for the 1 pass that he threw, you know? And
Dave, I need to interject there for a second.
Go ahead.
You are also drawing a correlation that just because you insert a player, you don't think about the coaching difference that Sean Payton had.
That's true.
When he had Teddy Bridgewater, he modified that to a possession type of team.
Tighten the playbook.
Right. When Taysom Hill was in there, he modified it to where it was a run option, read option kind of play.
True.
With Drew Brees, he gave him complete autonomy. So there's coaching suggestions, not coaching. So to insert a player in a mix into a system is different from inserting a player and changing the system around that player. And that's called actual coaching.
Well, let me say this.
If you have a quarterback that's in the ranks that fits within a certain system. So if you become win games because you have changed your offensive character and made your defense the preeminent part of the factor, then that's saying the defense is going to win this, and we're going to use time of possession to let the defense rest. So when they come in and go after it, Drew Brees' philosophy is not to let the defense rest. He's like, guys, I'm going to score some points for you. We'll get you right back on the field. You don't have to give everything. Just bend, but don't break mentality. You know what that tells me? I don't have to give all the effort that I need to give.
Look, I agree with that. But let me counter with this. You don't give autonomy to crab legs. All right. The dude walking out of Albertsons with crab legs, that's the guy you don't Taysom Hill. The dude who can't he throw the ball to him, he don't get autonomy. Brees earned the autonomy from Peyton in that Chicago game when we played that wild card game up in Chicago with him and Reggie Bush. And he was the only one playing. Everybody else folded. Remember that game where Reggie Bush did that front flip into the end zone in the snow and was kind of showboating, but we got kind of beat down. But Brees was taking hits and he was making completions and we lost.
Yes.
That's when he earned autonomy from Sean Payton.
Yes.
Okay, he ain't giving autonomy to crab legs. He ain't giving autonomy to.
We don't want him to have autonomy. We want him to coach James.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's why you can go with your young talent. Because
Sean Payton lost that game.
Open the playbook up with them 2 dudes. Okay? So in that regards, yeah, we could talk
Sean Payton lost that playoff game.
We could talk about the interceptions that Jameis threw, but when he threw them 3 interceptions, he threw 3 touchdowns with it, though. I tell you that much. And then did we get 3 touchdowns out of Brees on Sunday? We got them 3 picks. We didn't get no 3 turnovers when we didn't get no 3 touchdowns to go along with it. And you got to also look at the defense Jameis was playing.
No.
The man was playing behind almost every game, and he was forcing a lot of stuff. Sean Payton's system got multiple sets and always gives you a checkoff in a way that Bruce Arians' system doesn't give you a checkoff because he goes vertical all the time. Sean Payton always going to give you a checkoff. I got the screen at the end of Kamara at the end. If I don't see Thomas, if I don't see Emmanuel Sanders, at the end of the day, I still got my check off at the end of the day. They didn't have that in Tampa Bay. I'm not saying that that Jameis is the second coming of Breeze. I'm just saying that. But he is talented. He is a proven starter in the NFL. Okay. So in that regard, I'd say you can go with your young talent. On the other end,
Proven to do what?
on the other end, to maximize my window, if I can get a guy like Deshaun Watson, I got to trade to get him because Cam Jordan is at the back end of his prime. He's not at the front end of his prime. Okay. Kamara is signed. Michael Thomas is in his prime. If I can get a proven guy to maximize that, I got to pull a trigger on it. I'll send Taysom and Jameis Winston and a first round and a second round and cash for Deshaun Watson. I'm with Carl. I don't want to give up any pieces the man needs to throw to.
You can't compete though. Don said the Jets. Why is the Jets an offer? Because they got the number 2 pick in the draft. So you're gonna get Justin Fields or Sunshine, Trevor, whatever his name is, Lawrence, or whatever one you get, and they have other assets. Saints don't have anything to give. You're gonna be the Brooklyn Nets. You're gonna be giving up everything for him. When you got a person, Jameis Winston, that if you believe in redemption, the cat has much more opportunity to grow. He was having a great season at Tampa Bay, even though he threw a lot of interceptions. But then he gets supplanted by the GOAT, right? And leaves. He leaves there and goes to the Saints and learns under Drew Brees. The dude starts working on his body. The dude starts working on doing the right things, getting the playbook. You got to give him a chance. You got to.
Go ahead, Carl, because I can answer that, but go ahead. I heard you moaning and groaning over there.
I can't waste a year with James Winston. Hold on. Now look, T.
Y'all wasted it with
Look, Maestro, you made the point. You made a great argument about not trading all pieces. I got that about not trading pieces. You know, but the thing is that we don't have much time. You feel me? All right, now look, I could go with the plan of keeping Jameis. You know what I'm saying? But his and we could play a defensive first team. I agree that Sean Payton do call different when Drew Brees is not the quarterback and he does more ground and pound and relies on defense. I agree with that totally. The thing that I'm saying is that, with Jameis, that's a lot of assuming he got better. That's assuming he did this. That's assuming he did that. Bruce Arians not a trash coach. He really a player's coach. All I'm saying is that Jameis Winston is still, you said, he's a proven NFL quarterback. Proven to do what? Throw the ball, picks, make bad pregame speeches. That's all he proven to do. He ain't done nothing, man. Crab legs. She have a Joe Crab Shack sponsor thing on it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's there, right? Lord have mercy. That's there. This dude gonna lead my team somewhere. I'm trying to win the Super Bowl, T. I'm not trying to be good enough and be where I was been at for the last couple of years. I'm trying to win the bowl, and I still got the players to do it now. Now, can we go to a different option in him? Yeah, but I just don't see Jameis being quarterback. Got to be a leader. He's not a leader, and if you're not a leader, you can't win a Super Bowl. I'd rather somebody like Nick Foles. Somebody that's a quarter. Sam Darnold. I don't know if I take Sam Darnold.
Oh no!
I take not RG3 either, man. I need a Alex Smith. Alex Smith. If I could get 1 year out of Alex Smith, maybe 2. You know what I'm saying? A quarterback that is proven that he can win games. You know what I'm saying? Proven leader and somebody that people admire. I just can't see wasting a year because Jameis is not going to win the Super Bowl next year.
Go ahead,
straight like that.
I got to counter this. First of all, James get a bad rap.
Probably.
Crab leg that somebody else gave him as a hookup. That you might as well call me two-piece because they used to give Popeyes all the time. And then you're going to say, I can't give Jackson the leadership role. He going to fall. Come on, man.
Uh-oh.
The Saints want to win now, right? But then we don't want to invest in somebody that's been under our tutelage. Look how well Teddy Bridgewater did under our tutelage for whatever time we had him. It made Sean Payton a better coach too because he
is a mature quarterback.
Think about, but he's still
a mature quarterback.
Young guy, and he's in the South where we don't really place a lot of emphasis on our black leadership at that level. There's some hesitancy, and that's a subject for a different conversation.
Charles boy, Aaron Brooks.
Thank you. So let's come on back to the point at hand. So we've had Jameis Winston.
Oh man, do not say that dude name. Do not say that dude name, bro.
We had Jameis Winston for a whole year now, so that he can see how we operate. You telling me this brother's not ready to step out on faith and really hungry to show his leadership skills? I beg to differ. I say watch how he competes.
Go ahead, Charles.
I got a controversial statement anyway. That 2 year is going to be a 2 year window because I guarantee Sean Payton is going to take the Dallas Cowboys job.
When? How many years?
When McCarthy gets thrown out of there, fired, I guarantee you Sean Payton is going to take the Dallas Cowboys job. I guarantee.
I don't think him and Jerry Jones will match up because
he was with them with Parcells.
Jerry Jones will be doing this. Didn't I tell you run that jet sweep?
Yes, Jerry Jones called him on that flip phone.
Bruh. Look, Parcells wasn't Parcells the coach of Dallas?
Yeah,
Bill Parcells. Who was his assistant? Sean Payton.
Okay, let me say this about
but Bill Parcells was a great buffer.
And Sean Payton was the offensive coordinator.
Ownership and coaching. Think about that.
They couldn't tell because he wouldn't tell Parcells what to
like
do.
A GM. Bill Parcells is really like a GM in the head coaching spot.
2 years from now, I bet you he's going to be. 2 years from now, I bet you he's going to be on that.
We'll track that. We'll track that, and we'll see if you know how I always do. When you're proven right, I put your the bells and whistles on you when your predictions come out right. So we'll track that as it comes. I want to talk about Carl's statement, who seems to be frozen right now. But I want to talk about Carl's statement about the quarterback has to be the leader. I seem to remember Baltimore Ravens winning the championship. Y'all trying to get him back in.
All right.
It worked. My second one worked.
Baltimore Ravens won the title without Trent Dilfer being a champion, being the leader on the team at all. I remember Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharp being the leaders on that team. I seem to remember Chicago Bears winning one of the greatest seasons in history, and Jim McMahon definitely wasn't the leader of that team. You
don't have to be a leader as a quarterback. You have to be a person that the rest of the team believe can help them win. You know what I'm saying?
But that's not what you said, though.
They know that.
You said Crab Legs. You wouldn't put Crab Legs in charge of the leadership.
Exactly.
To lead your team. That's what you said, Carl.
They got a lot of Super Bowls been won by teams who haven't had a quarterback as the number one lead on a team. And let's get this straight. The Saints ain't trying to get no dynasty. That window is closed. When we lost to San Francisco, Carl, to your point on Facebook, when we lost to San Francisco all those years back, when that touchdown was thrown to Jimmy Graham and Alex Smith hit Vernon Davis in the end zone with like 3 seconds left, that was the time we had a dynasty. When we had a Breeze in the time, when we had Pierre Thomas,
Jimmy Graham, yes.
We still had Marcus Costa. That was the dynasty time. We played a dynasty. We trying to mortgage everything to win another one right now. One, not a dynasty. Okay, so in that case, look, my quarterback really was Peyton Manning really the leader of Denver Broncos when they won? Was he really, or was Von Miller the team captain and really the leader of that team when they won? We in the mode of trying to win the Super Bowl now, not trying to set up a dynasty. That junk has passed. So I agree with you in some regards that Jameis might not be the guy, okay? But in the thing where because he doesn't have the leadership skills, hey man, can you produce? Taysom might have the leadership skills. The sucker can't produce in my mind with the vertical game. So, I mean,
I like Taysom.
My personal opinion is I would do what I can to bring Watson in. I'll give up Taysom Hill and Jameis. I'd get another backup, and I'd send buku draft picks because the Saints draft picks ain't gonna be high anyway because they're a high seeded team.
The reason why I say leadership, bro, right quick, is because when you lost Drew, you didn't just lose your quarterback, you lost your leader too.
That's true.
You lost a double piece. It's different when Ray Lewis, leader of the Ravens that won a Super Bowl. Von Miller, leader of the Broncos. See what I'm saying? It wasn't like you lost. This is what happens when you lose your quarterback and your leader at one time, and you don't replace it with both. New England Patriots this year.
But leaders are
Lost
also
two
leaders
games.
are also what have you done for me lately? And that controversial start to the season that Drew Brees shows you that he could have been ousted as leader just from him taking a stance that he did. And also,
Oh my God.
you threw 3 picks. You threw 3 picks. I can't believe you too much. Your leadership thing is going down now, bro. Everybody wants you to retire, bro. This is the perfect time to do it. You could be the governor, man. You could be the governor of Louisiana if you retire now. Give us one more year and you mess up, you can't be the mayor, bro.
Let me add this too, and not to over, let me add this also. This is a shout out to John Stewart.
That comment was so crazy, bro. I gotta have another drink for that. But go ahead.
let me say this. Shout out to John Stewart with the this is something, him and I were sports writers together for many years. Him and Ryan Shatlin and I, Huggy. This is something that he said that he told me back in the late 90s that I always remember. He said, you play when you're hurt, but you don't play when you're injured. Okay? And when Drew Brees' wife saying that he got a torn plantar fascia, he still got the broken ribs, he's playing with a torn rotator cuff, that's injuries. You don't play with hurt where it's pain, where you can gut.
Yes.
Through, okay? And this is something he taught me that I always remember. 1999, he said this in the sports room, in the sports writers' room. He said, you can play when you're hurt, but you don't play when you're injured. Okay, this junk with the greater glory of Drew Brees versus Brady and Aaron Rodgers, bro, they sacrifice a lot of years because they want to get numbers and be the all-time greatest, blah, blah, blah. We done sacrifice a lot of championships because of that, okay? If you got this many injuries, if your wife gets on Sports Illustrated and say, he's got this wrong with him, this wrong, a torn rotator cuff, his foot, he can't move, you got to step aside and say the greater good for the team is let Jameis or Taysom Hill start if you're playing injured instead of playing hurt.
That is fair.
Well, with that,
that's fair.
All right, guys. Well, I got to always thank the point guard, Lil Carl, for coming in through the pinch as always. I guess this is a topic that's near and dear to his heart. With the Saints, he's always ready to talk. Saints football, you can see he got all Saints, everything behind him, in the background. Shout out to Don, as always, for tuning in, and Tyrone as well.
I need a sensation in the background. That's what I need.
I thought you got rid of all that. You told me you was cleaning the house and getting all these chicks out of here is what you told me. That was only 2 weeks ago. What happened?
Man, you know me, bro. What happened? Replacements, backsliding some with just, hey, bro, upgrade. That's a bit upgrades, bro.
Just cover up the BE right there, bro, and leave, bro. Leave, bro. Leave out of that situation with these chicks, bro.
If you believe that I'm gonna leave women alone, you crazy.
We'll be in next week. Oh, so shout out to LeBron James actually for I sent a Lily and Rex book out to him and his daughter Shuri. I'm gonna put the graphic of the Lily and Rex book, a little children's book that I wrote. Shout out for him to respond and send our family a nice letter back saying that he appreciated the book, etc. Y'all can get that book on Amazon. Shout out to Carl,
That's
also Don and T for supporting us with that book as well. As soon as it came out. My boy Carl didn't even know what Kindle was, and he bought one on Kindle just to support, and I really appreciate that, So,
and I don't even have any kids, so little kids.
Not a problem, man.
Yeah, Tyrone, thanks so much, bro. Thanks for supporting.
I bought 2 little kids
without the 2 kids. You know what I mean? And Don as well. But again, thank y'all again for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next week on Shoot the J. Everybody, don't forget to get vaccinated, so we can actually go out and do the show on the road, which we are planning on doing. Our next trip to Vegas, we want to take this show on the road, interview some people while we're out as well in Las Vegas. So everybody, go get vaccinated so we can take this show out on the road and everybody can be healthy and we can get out and shoot the J in real life.